All right, here's your condensed cinematic and deeply American voiceover script for HOA drama. Ban root gone. It keeps the flow of a real conversation has a strong hook. One new twist. Cinematic scenes, and closes with a satisfying and controversial ending. Word count is naturally between 1,200 and 1,350. The storytelling is smooth, emotional, and natural, like a neighbor telling you what really happened. You ever move somewhere thinking all you want is a little peace and quiet, and end up right smack in the middle of a reality show you never asked for? Yeah, that was me first week in Willow Bend, just getting used to the smell of fresh paint, hoping maybe this was finally where life would slow down for once, until the universe decided to hand me Barbara Mills. If you've ever met a self-crowned HOA queen with a clipboard, and something to prove, you already know the type. If not, imagine a crossing guard who dreams of running for mayor, except her turf is everybody's porch, and her rules are law. I'll never forget that morning sunlight streaming across my porch, coffee in hand, still wearing my dumb pajama pants, thinking about what kind of neighbor I wanted to be, when here comes Barbara, power walking across the street like a lawyer with a personal vendetta. "Excuse me," she hollers, her voice somehow both polite and terrifying. Tenants aren't allowed porch chairs without board approval. I stared halfway through my coffee. "Tenants?" I ask. "Pretty sure I own this place." She looked me up and down, like I'd just tried to pay for groceries with Monopoly money. "Owners get packets," she says. "Tenants don't." She stuck a note on my door before I'd finished blinking something about my unauthorized furniture, which, let's be honest, were 2 second-hand chairs from Facebook Marketplace. Most folks might have gotten mad, but I didn't. Not right away. I watched. Barbara's version of Welcome to the Neighborhood was a week-long parade of violation notes about my lawn edging, about my trash cans, about my coffee mug not being community beige, whatever that means. She even woke me up at 6:30 on Sunday to tell me my Halloween pumpkin was a threat to seasonal harmony. You know what I mean. She was relentless. But nobody called her out. Neighbors whispered about Barbara like she was some kind of suburban boogeyman. Word was she once fined a guy for wind chimes and another for having a dog-shaped mailbox. I'd moved in with 15 property deeds in my folder, bought the whole row at auction quietly. But to her, I was just another problem tenant. But here's where it started getting wild. Barbara didn't just nag, she confiscated. One day my chairs were gone. In their place, a plastic cone and a laminated note. Items impounded for community safety. Please report to HOA garage for retrieval. No joke. I knocked on her garage door, and she met me with a contract. No bouncing, no drinks, no lounging. I signed just to see the look on her face. That should have been enough weird for one neighborhood. But oh no. I started getting emails. She'd CC'd the whole HOA board, warning them about chronic non-compliance and tenant behavior. The neighbors saw too. It's funny, one by one, folks started sidling up to me. Old Mrs. Keller told me Barbara once measured her doormat and threatened her with a fine if it wasn't trimmed. There was a little solidarity forming, quiet but real. The real showdown happened at the annual HOA meeting, or what I now call Tuesday night gladiator arena. Barbara ran the whole thing like a courtroom drama. Muted anyone who challenged her, ranted about community cohesion, and of course tried to boot me off the call. "This meeting is for owners," she said, her voice a little too satisfied. "Tenants don't get a vote." I couldn't help it. I laughed, unmuted, and told the whole group. "Actually, I'm voting for 15 lots tonight." That Zoom room went dead quiet. Even the treasurer, nice guy named Alan, choked on his coffee. "That's impossible," Barbara said. "No way." But the records were clear, my name on every deed. You could feel the power shift. The board actually started looking at each other. For the first time, Alan double-checked the bylaw and said, "If he owns the properties, he has majority voting rights." Barbara lost it. Tried to table the meeting, but we outvoted her. The cherry on top. She got muted by her own rule. You ever watch someone lose their grip live on Zoom? Let me tell you, it's better than Netflix. But Barbara didn't retreat. She doubled down. The next day, she handed me a 12-page complaint, accusing me of property fraud and decorative bird endangerment. I kid you not. She had a whole appendix about my concrete owl statue being non-indigenous. I posted the letter to the neighborhood Facebook group. That's when people started piling on. One neighbor said she'd been fined for excessively cheerful solar lights. Another for unauthorized mulch. The comments took on a life of their own. And then someone I'll never know who decided to launch a drone over Barbara's backyard. What they found: a neon orange shed 5 flamingos, limits 2 by the way, and a giant inflatable Santa still up in March. The evidence made its way to the board. Alan called me laughing. Guess who's getting violation notices now? But I wasn't the only one collecting receipts. Turns out Alan had his own Barbara story. She tried to bribe him with a home goods gift card and a pie, hoping he'd vote to suspend my owner rights. His Ring camera caught the whole thing. The clip went mini-viral, and suddenly the neighborhood was sharing their own videos. Even Mrs. Keller had a video of Barbara peeking in her mailbox. The vibe shifted. People weren't scared anymore. They were entertained. The big twist: Alan and I started digging through old payment slips, found out Barbara had set up her own little HOA side fund, collecting fines into a personal account under a fake LLC. We handed everything over to the board's accountant. Next thing you know, Barbara's out as president, her clipboard confiscated, and the board's threatening to sue for embezzlement. The last straw for Barbara came at the spring barbecue. She crashed the party, tried to grab the mic, and started ranting about decorum and property integrity. But halfway through, the band launched into "We're Not Gonna Take It," and the crowd booed her off the stage. Alan handed her a notice right there. She was officially suspended pending investigation. Barbara stormed off, but the damage was done. You could feel the whole neighborhood let out a breath they'd been holding for years. Funny thing though, she didn't just disappear. A week later, flyers started popping up, "Help me save Willow Bend," and a website accusing me of running a tenant coup. But this time nobody cared. Even the people who'd once feared her just laughed it off. And when Barbara finally packed up her neon shed and moved out, nobody missed her. The real victory wasn't just that she was gone. It was that folks started talking again. Neighbors waved, kids played in the street, and the block felt like home. But let me ask you, what do you think? Was I wrong to let Barbara dig her own hole, or should I have shut her down sooner? Do you think HOAs are about building community, or just giving busybodies a reason to boss people around? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your wildest HOA story. And if you love this kind of neighborhood drama, hit subscribe. Because in Willow Bend, there's always another story brewing just around the corner.